Hi, guys, and welcome to episode 7 of season 2. This is Jason Katz, that's Jared Coonhunter, and I am Mitchell Wiseman, ? And no, it's not about me, it's about all of us, including you listening. Once again, we encourage you to... Why am I starting the podcast, guys? I don't know where I'm going with this.
We get the life.
That's a plus right there. Why is he doing it?
Yeah.
He'll put you in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah, he's cool as grits.
I just didn't know where I was going with
Where
it.
am I going with this? I don't know.
So today's subject is how do we approach speaking to God or talking with God? Either way, it still has to do with conversation. It's important to every relationship to have proper conversation and the ability to speak. And that's why we all take English classes, and that's why America sucks at their own language. That's my opinion, guys.
True that.
But so I've actually witnessed a lot of people have struggled in this area, and I thought, okay, what are good examples of prayers that people think this is how you're supposed to pray? And I thought, what better example than the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, thy name, kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. The only reason I remember that is because after I was baptized, my mom literally gave me like a dog head with the Lord's Prayer on. And so I read it from there each day time I would pray, each time before I would read the Bible. And so it was stuck in my head repeatedly. And I was like, this is how I was supposed to do it. And then I was like, oh no, this is the way we're supposed to do it. It's like, first we give thanks for what God's done for us and gives us. And like, I have to get this in this exact order or God's not going to be happy with my prayer. As God revealed himself to me, more and more and more and more over me being saved, he revealed that that's not how God thinks. God showed me that he loves me in my mess, as I am, how I speak, how I talk, and he's like, he just wants us to come to him and communicate with him. That's who he is. He knows what we need before we come to him. He just knows that for us on our end, it's an important way of having a relationship with him. He already loves us. He's already here with us. We can't see him, but he's around us all the time. But this is how we get closer to him. It's for our benefit that we go to him and pray. And that's how we get closer, how he reveals more of himself to us. And I see people struggling in prayer. And I see this in churches and other places. And I want people, and I'm hoping that this reaches the right people who need to hear it tonight, that are, whenever you hear this, wherever you are, that God wants to hear you as you are. That you can speak with the elegance of an angel, with the intention of an angel. Or rather, you're in prison, or rather you're in jail, or rather you're in the darkest place possible for a person. No matter where you are, he just wants to hear from you. It's kind of like a parent who hasn't heard from you for a while. And they just want to know you're okay. They just want to know that you're alive. And it's like, even though God knows this, he knows that for our sake, it's important that we know that, and that he knows where we're at. I guess an example for me is that after I started realizing who God was, I just started talking to God like me and Jason do, or me and Jared does, like we are on this podcast. I come out and talk to him, and it's not nothing fancy. Sometimes I'm in a bad place. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I'm mad. Sometimes I'm not the most holy of people that I should be. But God still listens, and he still answers prayers, and he still does amazing things with what I've come to him about. And I encourage you tonight, too, that he wants to hear from you. Those who have lost a job or are going through losses of some kind, those who are going through heartache, so those who are celebrating victories, those who have just gotten that dream job or have just gotten married, that he wants to hear from you. He wants to, whether that's giving praise whether that's mourning for the loss of something or whatever, and he's welcoming you to just unload that ignorance, and you don't have to worry about him feeling used or anything like that. He's God. There's literally nothing you can do that he hasn't seen or been ready for from the very beginning. He just needs to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess to me, this is an issue on my heart because sometimes the enemy likes to come to me and say, God doesn't care about your prayer. Look, that thing didn't happen yet, or that thing won't happen, or look how far you are, or look how unprofessional you are at your job, or whatever it is. There's always that voice that says that, and that God doesn't want to hear from me, or that when I do pray, it wasn't perfect enough. My heart wasn't in the right place, or God didn't hear that for whatever reason. And it's like, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what God's revealed to me time and time and time again. I may not know why I have to go through disappointments. I may not know why God decided not to answer my prayers. He's not a genie. Like Jared said many times, he's not. He's a good thinking God who knows that maybe if he gives us too soon, it would be harmful, or maybe you wouldn't do the things that you need to do to become the person you need to do, or a whole slew of reasons he knows. I don't. But I honestly believe that God's heard all my prayers, and that he cares about all my prayers, regardless of how perfect they are, or well said they are, or what order they're in. Whether I thanked him first and then asked, or whether I asked and then thanked, that doesn't matter. And if you are nervous about going before God, like you get the opportunity and you get the gumption and you go there and then you don't know what to say, simply say, God, I need you. Sometimes the fewer things you say, the better. Sometimes he already knows what you need. He already knows what you're going through. Just sit there in peace.
God, I need you. Yeah. Well, I got that. I mean, that's first time I heard that was from one of my pastor friends. He said it's just from a song, but just say, God, I need you. That's not the little help me light, I guess. I work in the casino outside, a little help me light, service light type deal. But that's him. He'll chime in and hear that kind of thing.
Hi, Kayla.
But the other aspect is,
hey Gerald, God bless you too.
Is
Hi, Gerald.
The other day I had a incident where I was at work and I just needed to talk with God. I was like, I do it all the time when I'm at work, but I was like, just show me that, just show me, and not like demanding, but then it was I needed direct. 10 minutes later, there it is right there. He's like, it wasn't a Harold Howard be the name.
Our Lord, hallowed be thy name.
Howard. Howard is his name.
It's like Howard be thy name.
That's a joke. I heard that joke. How do you know his name was Howard?
And Bingo was his name.
But I still love that. But there's not a right way or wrong way. It's just literally just talking. I mean, just like we're talking here. You say just talk to him, ask him, and then he'll give you direction. Listen for it. Sometimes there's an awful voice. I mean, I've honestly heard it like once. I swear it was. But usually there's a feeling you get, or direction, or someone will say something. You'll ask for someone, I know whatever, and then you'll hear 3 or 4 people make that same statement, word for word. Not like saying, if it's this, have someone say that. But it's a conversation I have with him that only one person will respond to. With those words, and boom, there it is. I'm like,
it's
Hey, John.
It's the same principle as like the right song popping on at the right station. Turn into Quake Radio. But
the right place at the right time.
But the light in the darkness. But it's the same principle. It's like this seems to match too perfectly for it to be a coincidence, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I used to pray for things like, can God even do this? And then like literally a song that's about yes he can shows up on the radio. It's like, it doesn't say that he will, it's just saying he can. So it's like you'll find incidences like that, and again, you're not going to hear it right away. If you're stuck in that void that I was, where you're worried about your prayers and things like that, just go about it slowly. Like, God, reveal yourself to me. Just show me who you are so I can better pray to you about things that are going on in my life and things that I need. And he'll do that for you. He'll do it in his time and in a way that benefits you the most. Yeah, it's helped me through a lot of hard times, mostly times that I brought upon myself. I bet you all can actually relate to that. That there are times in our lives where we look back and it's like, yep, I was the one who did that. Yep, yeah. I don't want to do that again. Yep, that's how I got that scar. I don't like that. But I guarantee you, it's you, the mess that you are, and you're a beautiful mess to him. And I say that because if he can love me, he can certainly love you. And if you're saying, well, I'm in a worse place than you, then let me remind you that the wages of all sin is death. So it doesn't matter what you've done. We're all guilty and we all deserve to die by what the Old Testament said, not God's version. But he loves you.
Gerald Higdon, Lord, I Need You by Matt Mayer.
Mark.
Yes.
Lord, I need you.
I don't know a lot of his music, but I do know he's pretty good.
Yeah, and just like Gerald said in there in the comments, like Lord, I need you. That's right there. It's like as basic a thing that you can say is like, just go to God and say, Lord, I need you. I need you, God. I don't know how to put it. I don't know what exactly I need. I don't know the best I can do, but yeah. What about you, Jared? Anything to add to this conversation?
All right, so
he's physically frozen.
He's physically frozen.
We hear you.
Yeah.
Freeze frame. He's gone.
Oh, Jared.
We lost Jared.
Jared, come back. You make the best sandwiches in the world.
He'll be back.
There he is.
Okay.
Last time.
So I was logged out. Apparently I was logged out and had to log in. So now I see all the extra options and stuff. Okay. So so you was asking about so everybody watching, y'all share this. Tag all your friends. We got 5 people in here. Let's get 10 people in here. So share it, tag your grandma, your auntie.
On a tablet or a computer and sign in.
Yeah, including your cell phone.
Your cell phone. Everybody, go to your neighbor's house and turn on their TV.
Look, wake the neighbors. The 3 wise men is very important.
It's like, what are you doing?
Oh, that's horrible.
Hey, thank you, Kayla. Yeah, tag Adam in here. We'll get Adam in here to come join us. He was playing football earlier, Madden, but he's probably maybe done by now. So, talking about talking with God. So it doesn't need to be this huge elaborate prayer like most people think. You don't have to have a like a 4-page paragraph about coming to God. You know, you don't have to do like some of these preachers do, and when they do their prayer at church and preach for like 3 minutes straight. You ain't gotta do all that. You know, during prayer, all you gotta do is say, "Hey, I need you now," and then list what you need. Or really, you don't even have to list it. You just say, "I need you now," and He knows what's going on in your head. Now, it helps to list it all. You know, it helps to get it off your chest. But hey, Miss Teresa. So, and then praying is super simple and easy to do. Like, I know it's not easy to do for somebody that's never really prayed a lot, or somebody that's, I like that. It's supposed to be a 2-way conversation.
Yep.
So it's not like And I know people that's never really prayed before, and it's not easy to them. But the way I tell them, I just say, hey, just something simple. Say, hey, God, help me through this. That's all you gotta say. You ain't gotta you ain't gotta go write a book about it and say, Lord, this is this. Da, 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 da. I mean, if people feel led to do that, then let them. But I mean, it's just so much easier to say, hey, Lord, help me. Send up the help flag. Send up the white flag. I surrender. I'm giving it to you. I need help.
Oh, yeah. Set up the smoke signal. Let them know where you are.
Send up the smoke signals.
Yeah.
So I like this. Prayer acts, adoration, confession, thanksgiving, and supplication.
Amen. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
All supplication, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's there.
I also don't know the definition of supplication.
It's supple.
What is it?
I don't know.
Okay. Send the
Kayla.
bats.
She said send the bat signal. Run,
Why
Robin.
An image of an angel like that.
I just thought it was guy.
Yeah.
We're not the same.
Look, instead of sending the bat signal, Kayla, send out the Jesus signal.
Cross.
It's a fish.
yeah. The Jesus fish is what. So I was at work today and I was making deliveries. She looked, and I love, like, I always do this on my ministry page. So I always love finding these churches that's got the old school signs where you have to put the letters on it. I don't care about the LED signs because the fancy LED signs like my church has, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's great. I love those. But usually when a church has an LED sign, all they put on there is their events, what's coming up. They don't put messages on there, and that's what bothers me. But like on these old school signs, they always have some kind of message, whether it's talking about their events or whatever. But I love the messages, so I call them. I made this up, so I call it Sign Sermon of the Week, and I always do the hashtag Sign Sermon of the Week. So if anybody wants to share any of my sign sermons, they can find them on my ministry page. I got hundreds of them. And the one I seen today was at a church making a delivery run, and the church on the sign said, so today's sign sermon of the week, it says, America needs CPR, Christ, prayer, and repentance. It's pretty good.
I have to make a confession there. So those signs are kind of dangerous for me. There's a few churches here in town that like to put up like real good messaging churches. And, I almost drove off the road a couple times trying to read them. I'm just saying. Sometimes I may have gone around the block a couple times just to fully read them. So I'm just saying, for myself, please make them short and catchy. That's all I ask. I want to stay alive. Read them.
I like to actually stop, and if I hadn't been super swamped today, I like to stop and take a picture of the sign. That wouldn't give the church credit for posting it. But
Oh, yeah.
I just love reading those. Like I read all kinds. Like let's see, what was the one I read the other day? Sign. Anyways, go ahead. I'll think of one in a minute.
Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have gone to all of them. Whatever. Sorry. I'm not the most tech savvy. I have a comment here with. Try to share it. It didn't work too well. Does it YouTube?
John Sishi.
Sichi. He won't show you for saying it wrong. John C. Yeah, John Sichi on YouTube. It's a Sermon Jam remix, and it's a song "God Help Me" by Plum. And it's
cool. Yeah, I know her.
God help me. I mean, but it's an extended version. Essentially, and talks about just reach out, just pray out to Him.
Yeah,
I could figure out. I could probably get it pulled up on here. If you don't, I mean, I can do that, but we'll just view a screen.
That's fine.
But then Facebook will mute it, so I really want to do that, but whatever. I'm not that concerned. Um, I'll
Tell
work
me.
on that. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna try to find it.
So,
Okay.
so I don't know if you
So
can see my face or exactly what face I'm making right now.
hey Dalton Bird, how you doing, Dalton Bird?
Dalton.
Hey, Dalton Bird.
Bird is the word. Bird is the word.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dalton. Apologize.
We have to deal with it tomorrow, Jared. Yeah.
Jared.
Okay,
What
so
happened?
I found so I found um so I found golly. Somebody's trying to call me while
Golly.
I'm live.
I found Golly.
I found Golly. I
So
found Golly too. Sorry.
yeah, I'm sitting there live and somebody's trying to call me. It's like, dang, I'm live, bro. So
Put him on the podcast.
There you go.
Welcome to the
yeah,
show.
so two signed sermons that I found on my page is the most recent one from April says signed sermon of the week, love blooms when faith is planted. And then the other one that I found is signed sermon of the week, the will of God is not always easy, but it's always right.
Yeah,
No, it
no,
wasn't you, Kayla.
I like that. I mean, picture it this way. For those who are like, well, is this right for me or whatever? Because we all have those doubts and that voice like, oh, well, this isn't right for you. God made the universe. He made the planets. He keeps them rotating. He made you lovingly in all your glory. And that's the. Here's a
Sorry.
music
I like
video.
I like what Gerald says. The Christian fish symbol.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Gerald says the Christian fish symbol, also known as the Jesus fish or Itchies, is a symbol originated in the 1st century AD from the Greek. That's cool. Did not know that.
Yeah, but it's like so like I was saying, God has a bird's eye view on your life. If he doesn't answer a prayer when you ask for it, it doesn't mean he won't or he can't. It's just that he sees what you can't, and that's what makes it hard for us all. So it was hard for me. I remember watching.
And
I remember watching my grandfather go through his cancer, and I was like, here I am saying to Grandpa, it's like, I know he'll heal you. And of course, my grandpa wasn't healed, not the way I hoped. And I asked God, I was like, so I didn't blame God. I was like, so why didn't you heal him? And I had a pastor friend of mine says, like, well, he kind of did. It's in a different way. And I asked, I was like, and then he's like, so you have to ask yourself, are you mourning that he wasn't healed, or are you mourning that you weren't given more time? And it put it into a different perspective for me. And it was like I was thinking more of myself than I was my grandfather.
Yeah.
And my motives weren't right. And I was like, well, maybe that's why God is like, no, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with it. It's just this is how God planned it, and you won't know why until you're there. And I didn't like that answer at first. It felt kind of hollow. But later now, I can look back and I was like, yeah. And while I don't like to make this sound like I don't miss my grandpa, because I do, I love my grandpa, it helped me. If I still had my grandpa, he'd still be the one driving me around. I never realized that I love to drive around. Mm-hmm. Mind you, of course, I wouldn't have gotten a DWI, but of course, that's a different story. But there were good things that came from it, just like God promised. Something good would come from something that was meant to harm me. Mm-hmm. The devil wanted my grandpa's loss to hinder me, like stop me from getting around, stop me from doing things, stop living my life. And God turned it around and used it to propel me forward, even if it was just a little bit something that's not as basic as driving. I don't know if any of you have ever lost your ability to drive, but I did when I got my DWI. Hated it. I loved all the people who gave me rides. I appreciated it. I loved it, but I hated it. And it isn't just the feeling of feeling burdened. It's like you don't have that freedom. And it was taken from me. And again, God took something that was meant to harm me and could have really harmed me, and turned it for my good and made me realize just how blessed I was to have that. And by realizing that, I realized just how much God blessed me when my grandpa passed away as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it just flew right into each other. And it's like, wow, he had a plan that like years in the making, and it took years for me to see that. And there's probably more that that I don't know or don't see yet. And so God, so what you can take from that, since the audience went down, so obviously I prattled on too long. But what you can take from that is that God sees it, and he knows what he's doing. He has a plan. And we like to think that, oh well, he has a plan and he doesn't like us deviating. It's like, no, that's not it. At least I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
It's more like a parent, like if you go this way, it's going to be a little bit hard.
And you know, he knows exactly what's best for us. Like we can't rush God, because I mean, there's something. Me and my awesome friend Robbie have this discussion a lot about how, we can't. I tell him we can't rush God, like like the magic genie bottle thing. I always say, he. So you can say, well, I'm getting this and this age, and I'm getting too old to enjoy this and this, and well, he better hurry up, and he better, if he gonna answer my prayers, it'd be now, or you can't rush him. He's not an idiot. He's not stupid. He can create the earth in 7 days. I just wish people would quit trying to rush him and quit trying to tell him when they want this done or when they want that done. He's gonna look at us and say, "Look, homie, slow your roll there, player. I'm finna do what I'm gonna do."
I was like, Dad, I was slowly roll home. What up, G?
What up, G?
But I also think a lot of that comes from the fact that we don't know we're trying to rush God. Just like I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
we don't.
Yeah, just like I wasn't trying to realize that trying to control things so much. Thank you, Dalton. Appreciate it, buddy. If you all could, as you hear it, just say a prayer for Dalton. Just the fact that he's here listening to us means a lot to us, and we appreciate it.
He was like our second guest.
He was our first guest.
Second show.
We haven't forgot about that. He's still there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. He's the adorable one. He's the adorable one.
You remember how the Rock, because I'm a big wrestling fan, and The Rock would always say, "Know your role and shut your mouth." Well, I feel like that's what God tells us all the time. Know your role and shut your mouth.
God doesn't even tell me that anymore. At this point, it's like, I'm going to let you walk into that wall a couple of times. If you don't get it, I'll leave you there.
I'll heal you. I'll let you walk into it.
Go ahead. You do it. You're not going through it. You're flesh and bone. It is made of concrete.
Instead of The Rock says, it's the Lord says, you're going to do this. You're going to act right. Because, I mean, okay, like for instance, if he, and I've said this before, if we go ahead, if we pray for something really, really big and say, hey, God, I could really use this in my life. It could really help me out. It really advance my career, whatever. And what if he gives you that? And then, boom, it all crumbles and fails in front of you because you weren't ready to handle it. So he knows exactly when we're supposed to get this or do this, but we have to do our part first before that even happens. And then
we have to let ourselves learn the lessons that we need to learn. I mean,
yes, and it like how many times we as people, we try to rush God. Man, I want this right now. It really, you just have no idea. Well, if he gave it, and then and he just tells you, he says, no, I know exactly. It's my time and not yours. You're going to have to be quiet. Let me do this and quit trying to play God because I'm the one that does this. And then like he can see what would harm us if he was to go ahead and give it to us. Because there's been things that happened to me. I'm like, holy smokes. I'm glad I didn't get that. I've been praying for that, and I'm now that I see what happened. Wow, I'm glad I didn't get that job, or I'm glad I didn't get that because this and this happened.
To add to that, and I'm just going to open myself up here because that's what I do. I was a lonely kid, wallflower, didn't really say much. Just walked around with a chip on my shoulder for no reason. I brought that up here. So, okay, well, you're going to use some dip with that? Okay.
I was just making sure it wasn't there. It's not there.
So Dalton says, I'm in a super dark place tonight. I found out some stuff and it really hurt.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're praying for you, Dalton.
All right.
We'll talk more in private.
Yeah. But so
Gotcha.
one of my main things is that I wanted a relationship. Badly. I obsessed over it. So every time when I started believing in God, every time I would go to like if there's like a possible one that would pop up, I would always go to God. It's like, hey God, I would like this relationship and that and stuff. Well, first off, I didn't realize how I was putting that. I was like, hey God, rob this person of their free will to choose. First off, and that's not right. And second of all, I wasn't thinking of it clearly. I was trying to rush God and rush into things that I didn't know anything about, with people that I didn't really know anything about.
Mm-hmm.
God knew, and everyone was like, "Oh well, you just you didn't know." I was like, "Yeah, that's true," but I wasted years of my life chasing having a relationship, and then I stepped back and I realized just how blessed I was just to be single. And a lot of people's like, "How can you be blessed to be single?" It's like, well, because I got friends. I got female friends, male friends. I'm happy. What I really, at the root of the question, was wanting was the fleshy things, the more intimate relationship. That's what I wanted. And God's like, that's not love. That's not what a relationship's for. It's not. A relationship is where you share your life with another person that wants to share it with you. And I didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. And I'm glad God didn't answer my prayers. It hurt. It hurt a lot. And I went through hell in my mind. Like, I wasn't good enough. All that stuff. All that stuff that males typically go through. They beat themselves up over and everything. And it was God protecting me. And protecting those people that I was interested in, too, because I wouldn't have been any good for them either. And through this singleness, through this time of being single, whether I have a relationship or not in my life doesn't even matter anymore. He replaced it with something that I really wanted, which is just knowing what love is. And I know his love, which is far more fulfilling than the love you can get from just fleshy things, things that are temporary.
And you sit on answered prayers, but the front of my head was Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
And
this doesn't mean and this doesn't mean that I didn't love. I loved one, but he didn't answer that, and that's fine. That worked out. But it's like through those seasons of disappointment, of just recognizing this, I grew, and he took what was meant to be a hindrance and turned it into one of my greatest strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether someone loves me or doesn't love me doesn't mean that I can't love them. And love them in the right sense, not the possessive sense. Sorry, Jared. I was proud.
You're good. And I appreciate that. Since I push it off, but it gets back to like the prayer stuff and how to start. Sometimes the easiest way to get to it is the God help me thing. So we have approval from the gallery to play that video.
All in favor of hearing the music video?
Yes.
Say aye.
Play it.
I figured I'd ask before I just did it.
Look, everybody that's watching, let us know what you think of the video and share our live. The more shares, the better.
I don't think, Jared, you probably haven't seen this video, so you let us know what you think. You haven't seen it either.
Probably not.
I've seen it like 7 or 8 times, or more.
Love the music.
I'm the music guy. Hey.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this up here. Beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, that Bush's baked beans commercial.
Please don't. Okay, here we go.
I wonder if Caleb's still watching.
There's a wrestling in my heart and my mind. disturbance and attention I cannot seem to drive. And if I'm honest, here in this silence and really hear you. What will you ask of me? Will I listen to your voice when you speak? Help me to move, help me to see, help me to do whatever you would ask of me. Help me to go, God, help me to stay. I'm feeling so alone here, and I know that you're faithful, but I can barely breathe.
God, help me. 3 of the most powerful words you could ever pray. God, help me. 3 words that are prayed in times of desperation, in times of trouble, in times of deep humility. 3 words that acknowledge your lack of wisdom, your weakness, your incompetence. 3 words that we need to be brought to the point of crying out at times. 3 words that he longs to hear from us. 3 words that he responds to, family. So cry out.
God help me. Sometimes things, they are black and white. Sometimes they are not, and that leaves us torn inside. And in the middle, we are left to wonder who we are, what you want, and where we're going. Oh, such a mystery. I don't always understand, but I believe. Help me to move, help me to see, help me to do whatever you would ask of me. Help me to go, God, help me to stay. I'm feeling so alone here, and I know that you're faithful, but I can barely breathe. God help me. I don't know the future, it's one day at a time. But I know I'll be okay with your hand holding mine. So take all my resistance, oh God, I need your grace. One step and not the other, show me the way.
I am here. 3 of the most powerful words God could ever say, and he's saying them to you right now. He says, I am here. I see you. I hear you. I know what you're going through, and I will help you. So you stare down that mountain. You shake off that fear. You push back that doubt, because I will never leave you, never fail you, never forsake you. So saint, rise up. Child, look to me. Soldier, strain forward, because I am with you. I am for you. I am sovereign, and I am here.
Show me the way. Hey,
I got you.
help me to move, help me to see, help me to do whatever you would ask of me. Help me to go, God, help me to stay. I'm feeling so alone here, and I know that you're faithful, but I can barely breathe. Oh God, I can barely breathe. Oh, I can barely breathe. God help me.
Love it. I don't know if anyone else was able to hear it, but I heard it.
Well, now we're back. There we go. So what do you think, Jared?
She's got a beautiful voice. I wish she was still doing Christian music. I think I saw
Is she
her.
the one that,
What now?
I'm trying to picture what she looks like in my head. Her voice sounds familiar.
The
Yeah,
band
she.
from
I think I saw her open for the. I think I saw her open for the Newsboys a few years ago, and then last year was when she. Last year was when she came out and said she supported this and that and wasn't a Christian artist anymore. But she got a beautiful voice though,
She does.
and
but I like
that's a good message in that video. Good message in that song.
I like the John Cici part. I mean, I'm not trying to plug them in Psalm 40 Ministries and John Cici, but
Oh,
I mean,
you plug him if you want to. I mean, yeah, Teresa says
Yeah, go ahead.
beautiful.
no, I'm saying because yeah, one of our first shows we did 6 years ago. He came out from Chicago area. He's in Chicago area, but check out the YouTube page. It's in one of the posts there. John Cici, Psalm 40, and he's got sermons, sermon jam, those kind of things.
Teresa
I
says
love
very good message.
Yeah, and the way his vocal approach,
I love
you know, the powerfulness.
I love how he said like literally like at the end like God I need you, you know, and then like he literally puts the Bible that says I am here.
I am here. I have
Yeah, and he basically yelled it where like God does, like I am here.
exactly.
And that is what God is saying to, and I'm not hearing this, I'm not some prophet, but I was like, that's what God's saying to a lot of you now. It's like, I am here.
All you gotta do is say, God help me. He's like, I'm here.
It does not have to be complicated. You do not have to have a deep relationship.
3 words.
You do not just say, God, I need you.
Mhm.
And
I mean,
it'll work.
so many times we as humans we want to make it too complicated. It's like, well,
Oh,
unless unless we got a 5-6 minute prayer, then he's not going to answer us or he's not going to do this. Just that song clearly says one simple word verse. I mean, it's not rocket science, you know. I mean, the devil wants us believing the opposite.
He does. He wants to make it harder than what it's supposed to be. And
The devil is a
it
liar.
shouldn't be that way. We were always meant to be able to go before our God. I call him our Father because we were adopted into his family through his Son Jesus Christ, who was God in the flesh, who died for us and went to heaven. This is symbolized for what we go through, but we were always meant to talk to him, just like we would our earthly parents. And thanks to our falling away, we lost that right. And then, like I said, God's Son came, and God in the flesh came and died for us so that we could have that relationship again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes that message important, is that it relieves that complicated, that I have to do this, and I have to meet this, and I have to do these things, and God doesn't care, and God couldn't care. It just knocks all that out so that you can go before God in prayer with your needs, for your help, for that relationship with God, which is so essential for us as believers in our lives. It's the cornerstone. Prayer is one of the cornerstones of our faith. Without it, we can't have a relationship with God. We can't.
Amen.
Then this doesn't mean that you have to go with them with your needs or anything. I have a friend who doesn't, but he's thankful all the time, and that's still a good prayer. Just thank God. You know, you don't have to ask for it. He knows what you need. If that's what you feel comfortable with, do it. If you go before God and you say that I still have these hurts and these things I'm holding on to, do it. That's like whatever's there, and God will start working on it.
Mm-hmm.
There it is, John Cici on YouTube.
Yeah.
So whenever you get a chance, Miss.
Yeah. Also known as Psalm 40 Ministries.
Yeah. So when you get.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go. You go. Hey, you're
Go.
No, you're it.
Okay. So I was just going to tell Miss Teresa watching there, whenever you get a minute, Miss Teresa, click that link or follow John Cici on YouTube, Psalm 40 Ministries. You can find him on YouTube.
Yeah, and I would suggest if you struggle with I would say reading the Bible, go to his audio Bible that he has, the Message version. But he reads. I've read several books through listening to him, and he speaks it. I follow through the Bible app, and then help me get through on that aspect. But there's sermons he has, a sermon jam remix like we just had there, all those kind of things that he has available. Phenomenal.
Cosmic power. I mean, yes. I'm sorry, I quoted a Disney movie. I'm sorry.
But he has all the stuff that's there is, and if you have the chance, definitely watch the testimony video. There's a testimony video, and there's a couple of those in there. Yeah, the story is amazing. But on the topic of talking with God, it's also listening, because talking is also listening. It's a two-way street.
It is.
And here's why. I was sitting there thinking, if you're watching us, probably just kind of sitting there chilling while everyone was chit-chatting, not complaining, just was going. And he kept telling me to play that song. I'm like, I'm not going to play that song. And he told me a couple times, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to play that song. That I was led right to that. He's talking. We're talking to him. He's talking to us, which means we have to listen. And I always say that he's listening all the time, and that means all the time. So those thoughts are like, oh, nobody heard that. Well, he did. Just be careful thing in that aspect, because he's hearing you all the time. But when he talks to us, we also need to listen to him. And if he says that he said play that video, I'm not sure who that's going to lead to, who needed to hear that song. But maybe it's today, maybe it's Teresa, maybe it's Dalton, maybe it's Mona Lisa, maybe it's Mitch, maybe it's Jared,
maybe it's all of us.
Maybe it's me. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
No, I think it is. No, that was weird. Stay far. Stay far. Sorry,
but yeah, but like you said, it's like listening is important, and that's going to be one of our topics later on. Is that I wanted this to be my main goal that I want, and I didn't tell Jason this. And it isn't just isn't just to get you're gonna put me on mute, are you? isn't just to get you to encourage you to talk to God and listen to God, but to have a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. It's why we're doing what we're doing. It's why he died for us, guys. It's that simple. He wants that relationship with you. And I just want you guys to know that what I know God is. And he's this accepting, loving, cosmic being who cares for you. He isn't just out there creating new life and making new stories and forgetting about you. He still sees you. He still loves you. You're still important, as you always have been and always will be. That's who he is.
And God always wants us. He always wants us to go to him. He doesn't want us to go to so-and-so, go to so-and-so. He wants us to go to him because he's the ultimate answer, the ultimate healer. He can help us. But we have to go to him before we do anything else. Instead of trying to fix it ourselves, we need to give it to him. I know it's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. But so many times we as humans, we're dumb as a box of rocks. We try to fix things ourselves, and we try it. And we make things worse when the whole time we should have just given it to God in the first place.
Yeah, and it could have been, and we, like we were saying before, we make it more complicated. Like, oh no, it has to be this, and it has to be that, and I have to say something, and I have to be there. And it's like God's like, you said, I didn't say.
All you gotta say is, God help me.
Yeah, it's like, and then he's like, maybe it's just something as simple as you stepping back away from the issue and letting God do whatever he has to do while you're not there in the midst of it, and you go back to it, and things are better off than when you left it. And maybe even newer than where you left it. It's things like that God does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's situations like that have taught me and revealed to me more of who my Father in heaven is, and just how fantastic it is that he cares for all of us.
And y'all that's watching, y'all let us know what you think. Let us, interact back and forth with us. We'd love to have y'all's thoughts on this.
Oh, definitely. We
can send you a link. Oh, we got 10 minutes. But
we encourage you to join us and send us your prayers and tell us your thoughts. We want to hear from you because I don't know everything, even though I make it sound like I do. I don't. Jason doesn't know everything. Jared
was a lot.
A lot. Yes, he knows a lot. You know how I know that is because he's the most quiet one here.
Yeah, no, I'm way back deep dark in that closet somewhere. I don't know as much as
He knows dirt track racing. Then turn it left.
yes,
It's like the
yeah,
Bible
yes.
says, "He speaks when a wise man listens."
You're the wise man. It says so.
Yeah, it says wise man question mark.
Oh,
And
You
look,
guys
if Jesus was here today, I'd invite him to the races this weekend.
But no, we want to hear from you, and honestly, it's not just because we want to know people are watching. It's because we want to expand what we know of God. Because you guys that will listen to this or are listening might know aspects of God we don't, and know and have stories that we would love to hear that gives us encouragement or our heartfelt pleas and prayers that allow us to go before God with you and just plead out to him. Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. We're not going to sit here and judge you on your prayers. That's not our job. Our job here is just to communicate, talk. Maybe, like myself, we have these goals that don't really need to be met, but I just hope that everyone starts having a really deep relationship with God who listens to this at some point in your time and in your way.
The biggest thing it is relationship.
Yeah.
It's not religion, and that's why I stayed away for so long. Is it's religion. It's like you do this, you do that, you have to do this, you have to say that. Because that's not any of me. You just have to just talk with me. It's just that's it. It's literally just it's relationship.
Yeah, we don't need to make it complicated. We just need to do the simple thing that he tells us to do and do it.
No, I have to learn long division before he'll answer my prayer.
Speaking of division,
Oh no!
did you know that Chuck Norris can divide by 0?
Okay, we're going to bring out the Chuck Norris guns. All right, I've got one for you. Did you know that Chuck Norris has never been wrong except once in his life? He thought he was wrong, but he was actually right, so he was wrong.
I'm out here, guys.
Shots fired, Jared.
Hey, there is no backspace. There is no backspace button on Chuck Norris's computer because Chuck Norris doesn't make mistakes.
You see that, folks? That's the boat sinking. We've done lost control.
It's out of control. Chuck Norris, take the wheel.
He made the wheel.
Hey, look, and they said that Bill Gates lives in. They said Bill Gates lives in constant fear Chuck Norris's PC will crash.
Chuck Norris's beard only hides another fist.
Oh, I sent one the other day.
That is awesome.
Oh, you did. But we also like to take this time to end the podcast with prayers. We know we got plenty of time, and we hope that we can have more. I'll go ahead and go into the prayer if you guys don't mind.
Absolutely. That's not for Chuck Norris.
It isn't for Chuck Norris. No, we're actually praying to the one that matters. I don't know if I should pray this right now. Father in heaven, we thank you for just lessons of the day, just being who you are. We thank you for how you reveal yourself in wonderful ways to us. And I just pray that this message reaches the right people at the right time. And that in your time that seed grows, and that they too are come to know you and are saved and can live this life of peace and joy that I've come to know. And it's not perfect. I have by no means anyone here is perfect. And if we were, we wouldn't be here. But we're thankful for you. We're thankful for the food in our bellies and the roof above our heads. We thank you for the portrait of this world that you gave us. We thank you just for everything you do for us. So in Jesus' name, we pray that this message reaches the right people at the right time and right healing takes place.
Amen. Another episode. Any last things?
Chuck Norris, if you ever this, please write Jared. He's your biggest fan.
So okay, Teresa there. Hey Teresa, you got anything? You got anything for us? You got any prayer requests? Teresa said, "Good live." I'm glad you got
Or
tuned in,
or
Mr.
say
Reese.
good live.
Yeah, that could be good live.
Good live. I think it means live. But
Yeah,
What-
yeah,
could be
good live, yeah. Good living.
Delicious.
Oh, so. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate that.
Let me see if I can. I'm gonna read this to y'all.
Okay.
All right. So I posted this today, and y'all gonna find this interesting. Let me scroll down here since we got a few minutes left.
Yeah.
All right. Where we go? Right here. Okay. It says says a little airsick. It says a little guy gets on a plane and sits next to the window. A few minutes later, a big, heavy, strong, mean-looking, hulking guy plops down in front of the seat next to him and immediately falls asleep. The little guy starts to feel a little airsick, but he's afraid to wake the big guy up to ask if he can go to the bathroom. He knows he can't climb over him, and so the little guy is sitting there looking at the big guy, trying to decide what to do. Suddenly, the plane hits an air pocket, and an uncontrollable wave of nausea passes through the little guy. He can't hold it any longer, and he pukes all over the big guy's chest. About 5 minutes later, the big guy wakes up, looks down, and sees the vomit all over him. So says the little guy, "Are you feeling better now?"
Oh, jeez.
I thought we had some enlightening stuff.
I thought that's where this was going too. It wasn't.
I got something good. I got something good. It's funny though.
All right, so you have Teresa. Yeah, we're praying for you also, Miss Teresa. And then her son just got deployed. He's in the military. So, didn't he get deployed to Quaidar, Miss Teresa?
Quasar?
Sounds like space.
Quasar is like a TV brain.
Yeah, Quaidar is like one of them there countries over yonder. I can't that way somewhere.
Quasar.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
guitar, but different.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll be
That's it, Quaidar.
we'll be praying for you and your son and your family, and we're thankful for your guys' service. Thank you, because without that, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast. We couldn't. We're thankful.
Okay, there's still there. I thought he was
Yep.
Talk to her about it.
So I'm going to end the live, and we will be back
Teresa
next week.
says in the Middle East. Okay.
Not the outside east, or it's in the middle.
It's in the
middle of the east.
Yeah. It's not in the outside east. It's in the middle of the east. Appreciate you watching, Miss Teresa. Thanks for.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everyone else for watching. Those are the jokes. They're not that good.
They're not. No.
Don't watch it for the jokes.
No, don't do it.
We'll see you next episode 8. We're not going to know what it's about. Already listening to God.
Peace, love, chicken grease.